back to my standing. Today I will be reviewing Winter's Heart fully as an entire book. But before that, you can see a Dune board game behind me that I received for my birthday, and this shirt because I have a very specific tastes and apparently my friends know it. But with that out of the way, what's Winter's Heart in a nutshell? Well, we have Massima, who has been secretly meeting with Seanchan, but still agrees to help Perrin to look for his lost wife Faile. Well, not lost, kidnapped. Then we have Rand sort of marrying, at least symbolically, Aviendha and Elayne and Min, and all the three bond him as their warder. And then we have a bit with Mat, who runs from Abu Dar with various cohorts of people, and he takes two on his bride-to-be, I guess, with him. And Rand does something very significant at the end of the book, which is he travels to Shadar Logoth. He connects Taint using some of the ter'angreals and with help of Nynaeve, and he manages to remove Taint from saidin. And let's see what I expected. Well, from this book I expected a focus on the Faile subplot. I was hopeful that this subplot will end with this book, and I also expected a dash of Mat, hopefully. What I got was honestly something almost entirely different. Yes, there was a focus of sorts on the Faile subplot, but the entire book was leading to the complete change of the status quo at the end, which is the end of saidin Taint that has so much implications to the world balance at large, because it impacts everyone. It doesn't only impact the actual male channelers who are prone to going mad with the Taint in the power. Instead, it impacts, yes, male channelers, because they no longer need to be potentially shunned from society. Then we have female channelers of all creeds who now have to react to the shift in balance. Then we have the Forsaken, who are trying to stop this and did not expect this. And when you add politics to this whole pot that Jordan has got brewing, the implications are immeasurable. But let's see what I liked. Well, largely what I liked was the ending. The ending was very satisfying. It was like like a crescendo. It wasn't quite on the, well, instead of the ending where Rand was escaping capture from the tower, this is more on the metaphysical level, I suppose. I expected that Rand will take the cleansing of saidin seriously, but I did not expect him to actually do it in this book, and to pull it off, which he did. And that was mainly what I liked. I liked that. I liked bits with Mat, even though I wasn't all that sold on his future wife, but I don't think it's gonna be sort of a disaster like Perrin and Faile relationship. I at least hope so. What I didn't like, well, it's odd, but since the book shifted from character focus, Perrin, to heavier plot and intrigue, such as Rand and Egwene, which is I also forgot to mention, one of the major subplots of the books is about Egwene retaking the tower. And with that shift to heavier plot and intrigue, the cast just kept growing exponentially. And I'm beginning to worry about that, because Jordan doesn't just introduce new characters. He also starts new plot threads when he introduces them. So it's like you get a new character, but it's not like a character that only serves to emphasize something or to be killed or whatever. Usually what happens is that character is also crucial to a new specific plotline that appears. And I'm just starting to feel a bit overwhelmed. So yeah, that was kind of the thing that I didn't like about this book. Not even the Fail subplot, that was whatever. Let's move on to predictions. Well, it's difficult to say, mainly because the reputation of the next book, Crossroads of Twilight, certainly precedes it. I have never read it, and when I started reading Wheel of Time, I was just vaguely aware of the reputation of the books, but even I, reading stuff on r/fantasy on Reddit, and just in general chat with other fantasy fans, everyone was kind of uniform on painting Crossroads of Twilight as the one book that made people give up on the series. And I expect that majority of the plot will be about the Fail subplot and trying to hopefully resolve it. Maybe on exploring the end of the Saidin taint, how it affects Elida's camp, for example. I'm actually the most interested in her reaction. I can imagine she's gonna take it well, and I don't expect it to, I just want to see that reaction. But then again, I'm not even sure how much of the linearity are we gonna get. I'm going to get. I mean, maybe the next book will be just the same stretch of time, but on the side of Fail camp, or her imprisonment and her life as a Gaisheng. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting. And my verdict, well, honestly, this book also has a reputation. It doesn't have a bad reputation as Crossroads of Twilight, but it's certainly the book where the plot, allegedly from the outside comments, starts to slow down and starts to drag. I don't think this dragged. What I think is this book doesn't have a certain resolution to the Fail subplot, but it has a spectacular finale that delivers. And in doing so, I deem this as a solid book instead of maybe an exceptional one, like the previous ones, for example. I assume that the quote-unquote slower books, such as the next one, will become more rewarding on the rereads. But for me, as a first-time reader, this wasn't slow. It was stuffed, maybe even overstuffed, but not to the detriment of the book not being worth the effort and time. I still enjoyed this very much, and I started reading Crossroads of Twilight, so we'll see how it goes. And I guess that would be all. Thank you very much to my Patreon subscribers. To Ethan and to Katie, thank you a lot. Especially, well, not especially to everyone who takes their time to comment and engage, because I do appreciate it a lot. Wheel of Time has a very passionate, very knowledgeable fan base, and it's great to just juggle around ideas and impressions about the books. And I haven't been spoiled whatsoever all this time, and I'm deep into the books now, and it's great to keep that sense of wonder, not knowing what to expect next. So yeah, it's what makes me going. So thank you a lot, and please do like and subscribe if you are so inclined, and see you next time. Goodbye.